What's up, y'all, and welcome to Who's Derek Andre TV. And is this as good as it gets? At least for me? Let's totally discuss it.
This is Totally Disgusted with your host, Derek Andre.
What's up, y'all? I don't even know if I actually, maybe I did record it. What's up, y'all? And welcome to Totally Disgusted. I'm your host, Derek Andre. And yeah, today's topic, man, is this as good as it gets, at least for me? And before I get into this topic, I just need for you to understand that I am not asking this in a ungrateful way. I'm not. And that was not a fart. That's me sliding around on this stool. I am not asking this in an ungrateful way. It is legit concern. All right. It is legit concern for me. I'm not comparing my life to anybody else, but there are some comparisons that will probably be made in this video. And it's not like two friends and family. I'm not trying to compete with anybody, but I'm just wondering if this is as good as it gets. Is this as good as it gets for me? I'm a pretty talented dude, man. Now, granted, I did not get a chance to pursue these talents until later in life, but I am still a pretty talented dude. I come from a very creative family, very artistic, man. You know, visual artists. I got on both sides, my dad's side and my mom's side. I have intelligent family members, man, that are just, I'm surrounded by greatness. But I feel like this life of mine, even with its peaks, has been a textbook case of mediocrity. And I'm wondering if this is as good as it gets for me. I'll be 55 in like little over 3 weeks. And I'm currently working as a package delivery driver for Amazon. All right. Now, if you haven't watched it yet, on my YouTube channel, there is a series that I have created that if you want to see, I'm doing a daily vlog of me doing my talking about me being an Amazon delivery driver. And so if I'm trying to pull it up, oh, here it is. There's like right now, let me switch screens real quick. Right now there is about, where's my browser at? Transition. Right now there's about, I think 20 some odd episodes. It's just talking about what I am going through as a 54, soon to be 55-year-old Amazon driver, because the job is quite grueling. Okay, it's a very challenging job. There's no two ways about it. All right, it's a tough job, but it's what I got to do in order to provide for my family, to keep a roof over my head, and this, that, and the other. But my question today is, today's topic is this as good as it gets? Is this as good as it gets? Is this as good as it gets for me? I'm a published author. I'm an award-winning filmmaker. I'm self-taught in all of these areas too, man. I taught myself how to edit my books and how to create book covers and how to, do video editing and how to finally edit a little bit of music. I have a very full YouTube channel, man. My YouTube channel is filled with amazing content, and there's so many YouTubers out there that are doing exactly what I'm doing, and they're making a sustainable living. There are things that I want to do that I'm concerned because of my age. And I guess this is what a midlife crisis is. But there are things that I want to do, but I'm concerned because of my age that I may not get a chance to finally get a chance to do them. I want to own a home. I want to own a home. And it's not about, this big mansion. No, I do want land around my home. I would like about 3, 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 acres, but I want some land, but I want a home. I've never owned a home. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I never wanted to buy a home in St. Louis. I just didn't want to do it because I knew that I would not live there forever. That was not a place that I was going to live forever because I could see the way that things were changing in St. Louis and surrounding areas. And I just personally did not want to spend any more of my time there. I had some things happen to me there that really hurt me to my core. And so just being there and driving those same streets and going certain places and seeing certain people and it just did not resonate well with me. Plus, I knew that if I truly wanted to pursue some of the things that I am actually currently pursuing, that St. Louis was not going to be the place that was going to happen. So me buying a home there was just not in the cards. And I knew that. So I did not. Even when I was an electrician, I did not buy a home there. I just needed to figure out where home was going to be. And so because of some poor decision making on my part, I made some moves that just didn't, when I moved to the Virgin Islands, I moved there. I should have stuck to my guns, and I probably could have bought my first home in the Virgin Islands, but I didn't stick to my guns. I followed my heart and probably my penis, and I brought my now ex-wife there, and she had her son, I had my son, and she was pregnant with our daughter. So that threw a monkey wrench in what I was going to do in the Virgin Islands, because I was like, I could draw down my 401k. I can use that money. I could buy me a small plot of land, and I can slowly build me a home. But that did not work. We ended up back in the States. I ended up divorced. I went back to doing electrical work, but by that time, the economy was all jacked up. So I was actually spending more time laid off than I actually was working. And so I'm like, I got to find a way to make this stuff work. Because like I said, I was a late bloomer pursuing my creative side. So by this time, I got like books and stuff out. I got all these videos and stuff on my YouTube channel. I got all this stuff going. And I'm like, okay, at some point, that one thing is going to change my life forever. There's going to be that one thing that comes along, because I've been consistently doing content creation for the last, I think I've had my YouTube channel for, I think I had this YouTube channel for, hang on, let me see, I can tell you just a second. I've had this YouTube channel for probably 15 years now, I think. I think I started it. Let me see. Hold on. Let me look and see. Where do I find that at? Is it under settings? No, it ain't under settings. Let me see. Hold on. I know where it is. Wait a minute. Your channel. So, let me see. How long have I had this YouTube channel? Your channel, let me see. I've had this channel since 2007. August 26th, 2007 is when I started my YouTube channel. Here it is right here. Look at this. August 26th. Where's my channel at? August 26th. 2007. Let me switch over for a second. Mute the music so it don't transition weird. August 26, 2007. So this is 2025. So what's that? How many years is that? I can't even do the math. What was it 16 years, 17, 18 years? How many years is that? 19 years? How long is that? 2007? I got to do the math on that, y'all. But I had it a long ass time. I can't do the math. My brain is not functioning with mathematics right now. But yes. So I thought by now, real talk, that something would have popped off. My first viral video ever was on YouTube. My very first viral video ever was on YouTube. It was a video called Whip Your Kids. It was a parody that I did with my daughter Zuri. And it got like over 8 million views. And that's when I realized that I could actually make some money on YouTube. So I was like, all right, let me see if I can create some more content, man. I've grown my subscriber number to 22,000 subscribers. But here's where I made the mistake. Which is probably why I'm not a successful YouTuber right now, because it's damn sure is not because I don't have the content. Where I made my mistake as a YouTuber was when the video that was going viral was going viral. I was not producing as much content, okay? I was more focused on the filmmaking stuff that I was doing because it was going viral about 10 years ago when I was in Oxford. All right. So back then I was focused on being a filmmaker. And so as much as I probably should have been looking at creating more content for YouTube, the immediate money that I was earning from making videos for companies and businesses and stuff like that and promotional videos for people was actually what was coming in regularly. All right. And so I think I missed the window. I think I missed the window for being a successful YouTuber. I don't think it's completely over, but I do think that me not producing content while I had a video going viral was a huge mistake. But I didn't know at the time that that's what I should be doing. And what happens is if your channel looks like it is a dormant channel, YouTube will not recommend your videos. They just won't. They will not recommend your videos to your subscribers or anybody else. So I have been on this campaign over the last several years to not only create new content, but to get the to get the channel recommended, to get it seen. Because I know there's got to be, this can't be as good as it gets for me. I have books. I'm an author. I've been writing books since the late 90s. Like 97 and 98 was when I published my first book. I've been writing books. I started off writing love poetry and paying homage to black women because I love black women and I love the fact that they are who they are. And so I wrote all these poems and all these books for black women, and don't none of them get a chance to see it. Most of the reason that happened was because I had to take care of a family. So I couldn't put the time, effort, and energy behind my work that I needed to because I had to go to work. I had to pay bills. I had children and I had a wife. I had all this stuff going on. So while everybody else who didn't have kids or who was able to find time to carve out and able to make what am I trying to say here? Able to make time for their creativity, I was not able to do so. All of my funds and all of my time went towards working and providing for my family. So all of my stuff was falling by the wayside. You know what I'm saying? So my books, I didn't get a chance to perform as much poetry anymore because I just didn't have the time. I was trying to, get out when I could, but I didn't have the time. There was no way for me to do it. A lot of those Friday nights when people were out doing spoken word, I had my son. So I'm like, damn. Okay, so now I got all these books, and I've still been writing books. I wrote my poetry books early, and then I've written other books since then. I'm like, there's got to be a way for me to use this God-given talent to provide for myself, all right? I've made albums, couple of them. I got a poetry album, and I also got an instrumental album that I produced myself. My poetry album, my best friend produced it for me. He did all the audio and all of that, all the beats and all that. He did all of that. This album, I did it. I've been working my ass off, y'all. I'm trying to figure out, is this as good as it gets? Am I going to leave this place, this earth, this realm, and never ever get to see all of my hard work come to fruition? If I didn't have any of this stuff, man, I wouldn't think nothing of it. It wouldn't bother me, not in the least. Not in the least. But the mere fact that I know that I have been creating and building and doing all of this stuff, and all I need is an opportunity, it hurts, man, especially as I get older. As I get older, man, it hurts. Because I'm constantly wondering, is this as good as it gets? Will my hard work, my website and all of that stuff, will that stuff just remain unseen? Will that remain unseen? Is that all of these years I have been building? I've got t-shirt brands. I taught myself how to design t-shirts. I taught myself how to set up all the shops and how to do all the backside of it. But I've never had the time to really devote to making this stuff work, man. So my question is this as good as it gets for me? Am I going to be a delivery driver until I either retire or die? And there's nothing wrong, and I just want to make this totally clear. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being a delivery driver. There's nothing wrong with being a construction worker. There's nothing wrong with being a cashier. There's nothing wrong with being a librarian. There's nothing wrong with working in a law firm. There's nothing wrong with those things. There is absolutely nothing wrong with those things. My dilemma is with me, and I'm only speaking for myself, is will I ever get a chance to actually live off of the things that I've created? There's a big difference between achieving things and having success with things. When I look at my vision board, I have achieved everything for the most part on my vision board. I've created my businesses. I've done all the little things. I got my t-shirts. I got my books. I got my music. I've won awards with films. I've achieved the things that I set out to achieve. But I have had no success in regards to providing for myself and my family from those achievements. And that hurts as an artist. That hurts as a person who is a creative person. I've gotten to the point now when I was doing Lyft, I would be embarrassed to talk about the fact that I do these other things because people look at you like, okay, you're an author. You got this going on. You got that going on. You got 20-some thousand YouTube subscribers. You got 100,000 followers on Instagram. You got 10, 12,000 followers on TikTok. You got this going on, that going on. Why are you out here driving Lyft? Why are you out here delivering packages? And you know what I tell them? I don't know. I know, but I don't know. I'm not connected with the right people. I just never have been. The few times that I was connected, it kind of worked. When I lived in Mississippi, and all I did for a living was Lifelong Productions films, people knew me as Derek Brown, owner of Lifelong Productions Films and filmmaker. And so they would recommend me to people. They would introduce me to people. They would say, hey, if you need a video shot, contact Derek. We've been in Atlanta for 7 years. 7 years. Let me see. Yeah, 7 years. It'll be 7 years in May. 8 years in May. And nothing has come of I did one acting project. One small acting project, which I truly appreciated. And I'm still in contact with the production company, and I've worked with them on a couple other projects that have yet to be released. But I want my stuff to work. That's my goal, man. That's my vision. That is my dream. All's my life I've had to fight. Nah, but for real though, all's my life I have been trying to find a way into doing the things creatively for a living that I love. On my 8th grade program, it said I wanted to be a stuntman. A stuntman. That's what I wanted to do. But I didn't know how to pursue being a stuntman. I've tried rapping. I've tried being a spoken word artist. I've tried stand-up comedy back in the early 90s. I've done filmmaking. I've YouTube, I'm author, clothing design. And it's not that I'm bad at any of these things. I'm actually good at this stuff, but nobody knows that I exist. Nobody knows that I exist. When I was building my following on Instagram, hindsight is 2020, y'all. Here's where I made my mistake. So, because I was driving as a Lyft driver all the time, and I was constantly in the car behind the wheel, I couldn't create YouTube content. Back then, YouTube didn't have shorts. Like they do now. So, Instagram had Reels. They were slowly starting to introduce Reels. And so it was easy for me to do these Reels, especially when they were starting to allow you to do like the voiceovers, because I did voiceover work. I do voiceover work. So I was like, okay, I could do these between trips. I can do these at intersections. And speaking of, just a sidebar, when I was driving Lyft, I created 2 shows between the trips and Get Lifted. That's a whole nother part of this conversation. Excuse me. But the reason that I said I made a mistake with my Instagram is because when I was doing the voiceover work, I was not targeting the people who I actually wanted to target in order for me to not just grow as a content creator, but to grow as an artist. There's a difference between followers and fans, okay? A huge difference. And a lot of people don't understand this. The difference between followers and fans is simple. Followers will find you, look at what you did at that moment, maybe click like, and then they're gone. They have no vested interest in anything else. They just like that video and now they're gone. That's what followers do. So it's easy for you to accumulate tens of hundreds of thousands of followers. It truly is. Even up to millions of followers. Fans, on the other hand, fans will see what you do, like what you do. They'll get curious. They'll follow you, but then they'll go to your page. And then they'll look and see if you have any other products or websites or services or any other things that you've done. And then they'll go there. And if they like that, they'll be like, oh, okay, he or she does this, he or she does that. They'll tell a friend, hey, have you heard of such and such and so? You need to check them out. Followers don't do that. Fans do. So I got all these followers on Instagram that don't give a damn about none of the other stuff that I've actually done. They only follow me for one of my voiceover videos to accidentally end up in their feed again. They have no interest in finding out some of the other things that I do because that's not what drew them to me. But see, I didn't know this when I was creating that. I was just doing stuff because in my mind, I'm like, if I get a whole lot of followers, I can get them and maybe kind of parlay them over to some of the other stuff that I do. And maybe I can sell a book or two. Maybe I can sell a t-shirt. Maybe I can get some views on these YouTube videos, this, that, and the other. But no, I was not targeting anyone. And as a result of not targeting anyone, I just got what came to me. And that is not how you build a brand. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's why I'm learning that now. I'm understanding that now. But hell, how do you go back without having to start over and implement the things that you've learned? You know what I mean? On TikTok, I got about 12,000 followers or whatever on TikTok. On TikTok, I was a little more strategic with the people that follow me on TikTok and the content that I created on TikTok. Still, it was not the audience that I was shooting for in its entirety because I still didn't learn what I'm talking about now until later. Same held true with YouTube. With YouTube, when the video was going viral, I was not producing content to put on my channel. That is the moment that I should have been focused solely on my YouTube channel. But at that time, YouTube wasn't what it is now back then. It was becoming this powerhouse that is making content creators and podcasters and all of this other stuff, making them a sustainable living. But it wasn't that back then. And so I wasn't doing it right. So now here I am, 55 years old on October 24th, wondering, is all of the hard work that I've done and all the information that I've learned, and is it all just going to be in vain? Is all of my hard work, all the years of creating and building brands and putting together, websites and all of this stuff, is all of this stuff that I've done going to die when I die? Am I ever going to get a chance to own a home? I love cars, y'all. Sports cars. I have a whole YouTube channel that I created for my love of cars. And I created that channel because I'm like, at some point, God, I know you're going to bless me to have the sports car of my desire. I want a Porsche 911 Targa GTS. That is my first dream car. I got some other cars that I want. I want a GTO, 67 GTO like my daddy had. I want a 1970 Chevy Malibu that my mother had. I want a 93 RX, Mazda RX-7. I want a 2JZ Toyota Supra. There's some cars that I want. A McLaren 720S and a McLaren 675 LT Spider. There are cars that I love cars. Am I ever going to own the stuff that I want? I know that I have I've created the materials and the platforms that should be able to afford me to be able to buy some of these things and to have some of these things and to own a home. But I just feel like some days that this is it. This is it. I am going to be a package delivery driver or some regular job until I die. And I'm not knocking people. I can't say this enough times. I'm not knocking anybody who just has regular jobs. And I'm not saying regular in a condescending way. I'm saying regular just as a job. You just have a job, not a career, just a job. There are people that have full-blown careers that make great livings. That's not me. I'm at 55 almost. The closest I came to having a career was being an electrician. And that just kept being a letdown for me, even though when the work was good, it was good. But for the majority of the time, I was laid off and I was unemployed. So that did not work for me. But my thing is, because I have been blessed with all of these different things that I can do. I've been blessed with the ability to create. I've been blessed with this gift of gab. I've been blessed to have compassion and people skills. I've been blessed to be honest, and I put all of that into my work. You won't be able to go and find any of my content and look at it and be like, oh, this dude is hateful. Oh, he mean. Oh, this dude is fake. Everything that I create with love. One of the series that I have on my YouTube channel was a long time ago. I created it, probably about 13, 14 years ago. It was a series called Husband Tips. Because I wanted people's marriages to work. A lot of guys have these concerns about getting married, and they have all of these screwed up visions of what it is because they've heard it from. I just wanted to give people hope. That was what it is. I wanted to give people hope. Guys, I wanted guys to realize, hey, you know what? If you do some simple things, your marriage can work. I wrote a book with my wife called The 4 Ps. The 4 Ps is 4 different things that you can do in your marriage as a man, because it's the 4 Ps for prospective husbands. That you ain't a husband yet, and I didn't grow up with a dad in the household with me, so I didn't know what to expect when I became a husband. So my wife and I worked on this book together. The things that I create are done out of love. And I just wish that people knew that they existed so that I could create more. So that I could actually have the time and the money to fully create things that will help and benefit people. I don't think my calling is to be an Amazon package delivery driver. My calling was not being an electrician. My calling is sharing with people things that will uplift them. My clothing line, Bum to Billions. BUM is an acronym for breaking unhealthy mindsets. All of the articles of clothing are original. If there's images on the clothing, it's from photographs that I took. The concept behind it is for people to be able to get out of their own head and focus on the things that could give them more quality of life. My book, Going Through the Motions, is a book about me just basically opening up and pouring out my soul from dealing with all the trials and tribulations, hoping that someone will read it and it would help them. Get Lifted, when I was doing my rideshare film series on YouTube, Get Lifted was about talking to people and just engaging in conversation, showing people that no matter who you are or where you are in life, you can find common ground and have good conversations with total strangers. Hamster Parenting Academy. It's a series that I made with my daughters and my wife while teaching them how to drive. This can't be as good as it gets for me, y'all. It can't be. I don't know how many more years I have left on this earth. I don't. I wish that I had some idea, but I'm kind of glad that I don't, because it might be tomorrow. Hopefully not, Lord. This is not an invitation. This is just a conversation. But I don't know how many years I have left on this earth. I have spent the early years struggling to take care of families. I've had a baby pinned on me. I paid child support on that child. I fought custody battles. I've gone to jail for child support that I didn't owe. I've had tax issues. I've fought with bankruptcy. I've struggled with unemployment. My first marriage, later in it, was a disaster. I've been cheated on. But yet I still get up and I still look for ways to not allow that pain and those negative things to influence my work. I still look for ways to bring people joy. And I think it would be a shame if no one gets to see it. Trying not to get emotional. I apologize. But truth be told, I think it would be a shame if all the love that I put into my work for people just like you, just like me, for all the love that I put into my work, to go unseen. That's why I named today's video, Is This As Good As It Gets? Because if this is as good as it gets, why are we here? Why are we here? If this is as good as it gets. If this is all God has intended for not just me, but for millions of other people, why are we here? I'm telling you, as I get closer to my birthday and I look at my life and I look at just the way things have gone, it just seems like such an atrocity. And I'm sorry, y'all. For good people to be shit on. There's so many people out here, man, that have so much good to offer the world. And because we live in such a crazy ass society, their voices go unheard. I don't want that to be my legacy. The people that know me know about all the stuff that I've talked about in this video. The people that know me, they have that information. They know who I am. They know what I do. They know what I'm capable of. But I created this for more than just them. A lot of the inspirational, encouraging stuff that I create, I share with you all, but a lot of it is for me. To help me get over my own personal hurdles. So God, if you are listening, please don't let this be as good as it gets. I still got a lot of life left in me, God. I still want to own a home. I still want to travel the world and meet my son in awesome destinations. I want to give my wife the life she deserves. For her patience and her love. I want my mother, my last living aunt on my dad's side, my kids. I want them to see me finally thrive. I want them to see me at my best. I want to be able to provide a space for my mother to come spend time while she's still here. I want to get all my nieces and nephews in one place so that I can enjoy them and be the uncle that I'm supposed to be. I want to have a place to call home, that when my grandchildren finally start showing up, they can have a yard to play in outside. I just want to have some quality of life. Because in the 54 years leading up to this conversation, I have yet to have that. I'm sorry for getting emotional. But I don't want this to be as good as my life gets. I don't want to leave here on whatever day God sees fit to call me home, having only worked and died. My grandfather was a brilliant man. Both my grandfathers were, but I'm particularly speaking of my grandfather on my mother's side, because my grandfather on my father's side died when I was in my early teens. I don't remember him as much as I do my mother's father. He was a brilliant man. But nobody really understood his brilliance except the people that were closest to him. And I believe that had more people known about his poetry, if more people had known about his artwork, if more people had known about that loving and nurturing side, which he did have, I think his legacy could have expanded further than just with his grandchildren and his children. I want my legacy to extend beyond just my family, because I think what I have to offer can benefit so many people. Because the one thing that I have to offer, and I think that's what the world needs, is honesty and love. And on that note, I am going to bring this episode to an end. I apologize for getting emotional. Yeah. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you can. It helps the channel to grow. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking the reminder bell so you never have to miss another video. I promise they won't all be like this. This is a rarity. If you're a returning viewer, then by all means, come back again. I thank you so much. I appreciate you for taking the time to check me out. I truly do. And yeah, if you get time, I am always encouraging people to visit my website, DerekAndre.com. Let me switch over real quick. take a little while and go by and check it out. Has some pretty cool stuff on there. Lots of literature. I have some PDFs and some courses and stuff. There's lots of helpful things in my digital catalog that I think you all would enjoy. There's clothing for sale. I have my one brand, which is Bump to Billions. And I also have my brand Autographs, which is basically graphic tees. All the designs are original to me. You won't go onto somebody else's site and find them unless, of course, they stole them from me. And we're going to hope that that's not the case. But, yeah. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Appreciate you. Thank you for sticking it out with me. I love you guys. Be peace, be love, be one. And guess what? I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to Totally Disgusted. Make sure to like, comment, and tell a friend.